We have PB Ramesh, Chairman and Managing Director of REC, now joining us. The stock, of course, at a 52-week high here. Mr. Ramesh, good morning. First of all, if you could tell us, have things really improved on ground for the power sector? Because we have seen a big rally play out in stock markets.
Very good morning, and thank you for having me here. And I think these are very exciting times for the power sector. As you know, number one, we are poised on this major effort by Government of India to ensure power for all, extend the power lines to each and every unelectrified village, and power all households. I mean, this would mean a fundamental transformation of the rural economy. But more importantly, is the Uday scheme, which is now restructuring the really revitalizing the Discoms, and that's another big area where a major leap is being seen. The third is the renewables, and the government is committed to ensure 175 gigawatt of renewable by 2022 and 100 of that by 2020. And this is another sector, and particularly the rooftop solar taking a major share of this likely investment. And we are also making a major investment in the transmission grid modernization. So the overall power sector growth is very robust, and there's a lot to be excited about.
Mr. Ramesh, good morning. Thanks for joining us. While it's true that the Uday scheme took away a bit of a large chunk of the debt of Discoms, most of them still don't have enough money to pay even the balance debt, or even if they do, they don't seem to be buying more power. So, where are you making money? Are you making money on power generation at all, or are you making money more on transmission financing?
Okay. Now, no, we are involved, we are a total power sector services enterprise. So we have a presence across the value chain. I mean, our major investment, of course, more than 45% is in the generation sector. And we are equally invested in the transmission and the distribution, both the private public sector. We are the organization that has a pan-India presence. And then we have the subsidiaries, two of them which are involved in the transmission and distribution services, both consultancy and implementation coordination.
Yes, sir, but in generation,
management services.
In generation, who is borrowing?
Yes. No, generation, the borrowing is in the renewable sector. The hydro is still picking up, the solar, the wind, and the rooftop solar. So there is still a huge opportunities opening up now. Okay. And that is where the future is.
Can you, Mr. Ramesh, share some numbers with us? Because there are a couple of concern pockets for the company as far as investors are concerned. One is that loan growth has been very weak. Loan growth was just 1% in the quarter gone by. And the other thing is stressed assets continue to be a big concern. Your restructured loans have risen to 11.8% versus 11.5% in the previous quarter. So on these two issues, stressed assets and loan growth, what's your view over the next 2 to 3 quarters?
No, let me put this across to you. Actually, if you look at the first half of this year, our growth has been about 35%. I mean, this is notwithstanding the fact we got back we had a prepayment from Discoms to the tune of about 30,000 crores. Our disbursements actually had stepped up by 35% in the the first half of this year compared to the last year. And then we are sustaining that growth in terms of both in terms of loan sanctions and disbursements. So that is on the bucket. The other one with regard to the restructured loans, I mean, we've actually had one of the lowest in the, we have about 23,000 crores of restructured loans, and these relate to less than 10 projects of our total portfolio, and they are 70% of them are in the public sector, the GENCOs, the state electricity boards. Now, obviously, there's been some slippage in terms of the procurement and the approval process at the state level. Now, these are areas where we are seriously focused on now. And then there's been we will ensure that these are brought down, and actually I've just reviewed these and then they are all showing signs of quick progress. And this is where the quality of program execution is the area where we are focusing, where we will continue to focus to see that this does not happen. So, I mean, this is not a large problem. I mean, compared to a loan portfolio of 2 lakh crores, I mean, this is relatively small in our view. And it looks amplified also is because of the prepayment from the Discoms to the tune of 30,000 crores.
You said renewables is where project demand is coming or loan demand is coming. Are solar power projects competitive? Are they able to sell at 4 rupees or at thermal power rates?
No, I mean, in the sense, you will see that in the days ahead, the overall power cost in the country would stabilize at a fairly reasonable level, which is profitable to all generators. So, I mean, this is still a sector that is growing at a fast rate, but also would stabilize in the coming days. Now, I mean, if you really see this, I mean, with what is being attempted by us under the auspices of Government of India with regard to extend the Discom modernization. I mean, what has been done is a financial restructuring, but in terms of governance reform, in terms of technology upgradation, a major investment is being done in the distribution network, and then followed up with an extension to the villages and the households.
Okay.
5.15 crore households to be energized, and that would mean a return of almost $60 billion per annum if only that happens, and then that is the goal of
So, sir, if you
the government to achieve.
Sure. If you come back to your, the restructured book, you mentioned that it currently stands at a little over 23,000 crores. That's quite an elevated level, as we've been discussing. What's the expectation going ahead in terms of the restructured book?
No, we are expecting it to come down substantially. I mean, I cannot have the exact number, but it certainly, I can assure you, it would not go up. Number two, it would come down. Number two is we are on a massive drive to expand the business. So we hope, our goal now is actually to double both in terms of the approvals and the disbursements. So you will see that this would substantially come down.
Actually, that is the worry, sir. Even quarter on quarter, last quarter, sanctions grew about over 100%, but disbursements grew 11% and loan book grew 1%. So from sanctions to loan book, the gap is a bit wide. But anyway, I just want you, if you can, leave us with some numbers. What will be your year-end loan growth? What will be your year-end spreads? And what will be your year-end GNPAs?
Okay, now let me say this, that we are among the most profitable enterprises in this arena, and we will continue to be profitable. In fact, I mean, in a way, this trend will continue and will continue to grow. That much I am fairly confident about. Our NPAs are among the lowest among the power sector investors in this country, and there's a huge interest in our organization. And then, given the power for all goal of the government, we would have we are a major player in that. I mean, not just as financier, but also as the coordinator and as the nodal agency. So we have this total 360-degree role in the power sector. And that should ensure our continued profitability and a sustained, robust growth.
Okay. That's not numbers for us, Mr. Ramesh. But anyway, thank you very much for joining us with your...
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much, and all the best.